While we must and will win this war, we should also remember the high price that will be paid if the very foundation of modern society is destroyed.
There's a Michelangelo joke to be made.
You're just the man to make it.
We have been tasked to find and protect art that the Nazis have stolen.
Well, the chaps are all very anxious to get started. We have your architect from Chicago, a sculptor, a director of design at the School of Fine Arts, and a few other experts in various fields of art.
How the fellas making out?
Like Olympians.
It seems like one of the themes of this film is people risking a lot to protect art. I like the idea that now it's sort of art's turn to look back on these people.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd never even thought of that. And as we should, I think. You know, this was a story I'd never even heard, which surprised me because it's such a great story. I would have thought it would be kind of more in the kind of our reservoir of common knowledge, but most of the people I tell this to haven't heard of it either. And it's about these guys who were curators and art historians. And who were well past their prime soldiering years. At the end of World War II, they went through basic training and went to the front to protect and recover all of this artwork that had been plundered by the Nazis. And well, knowing full well that they could die doing it, but having a deep sense that an understanding that the art had greater value to our common culture than their own individual lives did.
I'm curious, I like the idea that these men in history were going to protect art. And now it feels like in a way this movie is art going back and paying homage to the people.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, didn't think about that. Thank you.
What's it like, because the other sort of meta side of it is you're literally part of a team that's being put together by George Clooney as a director or by George Clooney's character? Yeah,
we actually, it's funny, Billy just answered a question like that. We were, a few of us, really far away from home in Europe to do a job that had to be done every day. So we developed a camaraderie.
You're talking about other characters and us.
And us, yeah.
It is true.
What did many of you know each other beforehand?
Yeah, we all vaguely know each other, some better than others. George and Matt have worked together 6 times, did they say something like that?
Yeah.
We've worked together a couple of times. John has a series, I directed it a few months ago, but that was after the movie, and we were in a movie together 20 years ago?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
And so, it's a small world, and you do crisscross. And I think, I don't know that George didn't do it necessarily on purpose, but I do think there was a built-in camaraderie going into it in all sorts of ways, and I'm with everybody.
When you're contacted to be in something like this, is it just knowing the people involved, it's an immediate yes, or?
Yeah, it's a very, very easy decision. Just George is breathing kind of pretty rarefied air right now. The last 10 years for him, he's just really been doing everything at a very high level, writing and directing and acting and producing, and he and Grant, what they've done together, the scripts that they've written have been great. The movies they've each directed have been fantastic, and so, getting a job with them is a big deal.
It feels like there's a nice meta side to putting a team together to make a film, much like in the film.
No, it's true. Though I think, in my case, it didn't even warrant a visit in person. I think he flew to Australia with the script for Kate, as one should. But mine was like an email, like, what are you doing this spring?
Did you have much say in developing these characters, or was it very much what was on the page?
Yeah, for me it was the book, The Monuments Men, was a great resource, but everything was pretty much on the page, and there was no nonsense there, not a lot of fat, just the essence.
Would you say for each of your characters, was there a defining aspect of them that made them click for you?
In my case, really, it was the fish out of water. The essence of my character was from New York, was sort of the quintessential New Yorker. He was in theater. Where else, in the world is there? Other countries, but in America, New York was certainly then the capital of theater. So I was a fish out of water, and to me, learning as I went along how to be in this group, how to accomplish the task that we've been sent to do, and it mirrored in a funny sort of way both, as John said before, both my character and Bob were both kind of going through the same thing during this thing. And it was really interesting, and loved being in Berlin and loved being in Germany. Really fascinating. Berlin's a great city.
A wonderful city.
It's a very serious story, but it's also very cinematic. It has sort of like a Great Escape feel to it.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I think tonally, it was tough for George, the director, to balance, you know, because it's a very serious. It's World War II. It's the Nazis. It's the Holocaust. It's serious subject matter, but you want it to have that fun heist feeling. You want it to have a bit of an Ocean's 11 type of vibe to it, without ever, you know, being disrespectful to the subject matter. So tonally, that's a tough kind of note to strike, and I'm glad it was his fourth film that he's directed and not his first, because I think it would be tough to hit that on your first.
It's very interesting to have it sort of harken back to Ocean's 11, and even when you're sitting with him, there's a conversation about how many men do you need to.
Yeah, no, it's like that's how you put together a team. You know what I mean? Like there are only so many ways to say it, and so there's always going to be that overlap, and certainly thematically, it's going to have that feel. But again, it's a very, very different movie. It somehow manages to be a war movie and a heist movie at the same time.
They tell us who cares about art, but they're wrong. It is the exact reason that we're fighting. For a culture, for a way of life.
What is all this?
People's lives.
Hitler wants everything.
It's your responsibility now.
Come on, give me a hand!
I'm proud of what we're doing here.
You're gonna miss me so much when this is all over.
All hell's breaking loose here! We have some unfinished business.